China didn't dump US Treasuries overnight. That would have been loud. Instead, it did something far more unsettling. Over the past decade, Beijing quietly cut its holdings nearly in half, from more than $1.3 trillion to under $700 billion, while Washington doubled the size of its national debt. And now, with more than $7 trillion in U.S. debt rolling over at interest rates nearly triple what they were in 2020, the math is no longer abstract. The largest foreign creditor is stepping back at the exact moment America needs buyers the most. Not dramatically, not emotionally, just structurally. And structural shifts are the ones that don't reverse easily. Reuters reported on February 9, 2026, that Chinese regulators urged major state banks to curb new purchases of U.S. government bonds and, in cases of elevated exposure, reduce existing holdings to manage risk. Bloomberg noted concurrent dollar weakness in certain sessions against the yen as global currency markets adjusted. This was not limited to bonds. Capital allocation toward U.S. equities from Chinese investors has also moderated in recent cycles. The signal was not dramatic liquidation, it was strategic repositioning. China remains the third largest foreign holder behind Japan, and, at times, the United Kingdom. Japan's holdings stand near $1.1 trillion, according to Treasury data. Aggregate foreign ownership of treasuries exceeded $9 trillion in mid-2025 as allies such as Japan and the UK stepped in with purchases even as China's share declined. On the surface, demand looks intact. Auctions continue to clear. Bid-to-cover ratios remain within historical norms. But issuance is not static. The Congressional Budget Office projects annual deficits exceeding $1.5 trillion for years ahead. Treasury Borrowing Advisory Committee materials released in late 2025 show more than $7 trillion in marketable debt maturing within a 12-month window centered around 2026. Much of that debt was issued during 2020 and 2021, when the average coupon hovered near 1.6%. Refinancing near 4.2% represents roughly a 250 basis point reset. On $7 trillion, that spread implies about $175 billion in additional annual interest expense layered on top of existing obligations. Interest costs are already climbing. The U.S. Treasury's monthly statement of the public debt shows net interest approaching $1 trillion annually. The New York Times reported that interest payments are nearing defense spending levels. Moody's downgraded the United States in 2023, citing persistent deficits and rising interest burdens. Fitch cut the U.S. rating in August 2023 for similar reasons. The backbone of the global monetary system now operates without unanimous top-tier credit endorsement. The system survives on constant buyers. Without demand at scale, yields rise until equilibrium returns. Even if foreign holdings appear stable in aggregate, debt outstanding is expanding. Flat participation against growing issuance creates a proportional decline in foreign support. Someone must absorb the difference. The marginal buyer has shifted. Beginning in 2022, the Federal Reserve raised the federal funds rate above 5% in its fastest tightening cycle in decades. Higher yields attracted private investors into treasuries. Mutual funds, pension funds, hedge funds, and foreign private capital increased exposure because the return improved. Central banks historically bought treasuries as long-term reserves. Private investors buy for yield. Another pressure point sits inside the maturity structure itself. Treasury data show the weighted average maturity of U.S. debt has shortened relative to prior extensions, increasing rollover sensitivity. Debt issued at 1.6% in 2020 now resets closer to 4 to 5%. Shorter maturities transmit rate shocks faster across the balance sheet. That transmission accelerates through leverage. Hedge funds and global asset managers increasingly use treasuries as collateral in basis trades and other leveraged strategies. When volatility rises and yields spike, margin requirements adjust mechanically. Forced unwinds can occur independent of fiscal headlines. The same duration sensitivity that destabilized Silicon Valley Bank in March 2023, concentrated exposure to long-dated securities under rapid repricing, now intersects with collateralized funding markets. Duration risk and leverage amplify each other. Japan's roughly $1.1 trillion treasury position adds another variable. If the Bank of Japan allows domestic yields to rise further, currency hedging costs for Japanese institutions holding U.S. bonds increase. Higher hedging costs compress net returns, reducing incentive to hold treasuries even without selling pressure. China's reduction. Moody's downgrade. Fitch's August 2023 action, the refinancing wall exceeding $7 trillion, projected deficits above $1.5 trillion record. Central bank gold purchases, documented by the World Gold Council and IMF reserve data, showing the dollar near 59%, all exist simultaneously. Dominance at 59% is structurally different from dominance at 71%. Margins define trajectory. That distinction carries risk. De-dollarization is not collapse. It is marginal substitution. China continues to run a substantial trade surplus with the United States according to Commerce Department data. Dollars earned through trade must be recycled. Reducing Treasury holdings while maintaining surplus trade flows implies diversification into other assets, including gold and non-dollar reserves. The World Gold Council reported record central bank gold purchases in 2023 and 2024, with China among the buyers. Bloomberg documented gold reaching historic highs as fiscal and geopolitical risks intensified. Diversification does not eliminate treasuries, but it reduces concentration. Domestic absorption becomes the fallback. U.S. banks, pension funds, insurance companies, and the Social Security Trust Fund collectively hold trillions in treasuries. The Social Security trustees report substantial holdings in special issue government securities even as projections show potential depletion of the trust fund within the next decade absent reform. Redirecting domestic capital toward government financing leaves less available for private investment. Banks carry their own strain. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation reported hundreds of billions in unrealized losses on securities portfolios after rates rose. Institutions that purchased long-duration treasuries at lower yields now hold assets trading below cost. Silicon Valley Bank collapsed in March 2023 after concentrated exposure to long-dated securities combined with rapid deposit outflows, as detailed in the Federal Reserve's supervisory review. Selling underwater bonds crystallizes losses. Holding them locks capital. As refinancing approaches, the numbers converge. Roughly $7 trillion in maturities plus projected deficits around $2 trillion implies buyer requirements near $9 trillion to $11 trillion in a compressed window. If foreign official demand softens, if private investors demand higher yields, and if domestic institutions face balance sheet constraints, the funding gap widens. Yields rise to compensate. Higher yields transmit immediately to households. Mortgage rates track treasury yields, and auto loans and corporate borrowing costs adjust in parallel. Even if asset prices rise nominally, inflation erodes real purchasing power. Inflation peaked above 9% in 2022, according to Bureau of Labor Statistics data, before moderating, but cumulative price increases remain embedded. Nominal repayment of debt does not guarantee preservation of value. If refinancing collides with economic slowdown, tax receipts decline while interest costs rise. Debt sustainability depends on nominal GDP growth exceeding average borrowing costs. The CBO projects debt held by the public rising as a share of GDP under current policy assumptions. If interest expense grows faster than revenue, discretionary fiscal space narrows. The Federal Reserve stands at the crossroads. During the pandemic, it expanded its balance sheet by trillions through quantitative easing. It later began quantitative tightening. Should liquidity fracture under refinancing stress, policymakers may face a choice between maintaining inflation credibility and stabilizing treasury markets. Expanded liquidity would increase the money supply. Currency debasement concerns intensify when monetary accommodation intersects with fiscal strain. The contradiction remains. Auctions clear even as China trims holdings. The dollar retains dominance even as reserve share declines. Ratings fall while markets function. Stability exists, but it requires ever larger absorption of ever larger issuance at ever higher cost. The bond market does not collapse first. It reprices first. Each basis point reflects shifting assessment of risk and supply. When one of the largest creditors reduces exposure while deficits exceed $1.5 trillion and refinancing surpasses $7 trillion in a year, equilibrium requires higher compensation. The United States can repay nominally because it issues the currency. The open variable is purchasing power and fiscal flexibility. If servicing costs approach or exceed major program spending, budget trade-offs intensify. If domestic capital increasingly funds sovereign borrowing, private growth slows. If private investors dominate marginal demand, volatility increases. The system is not imploding tonight. It is absorbing strain. And strain measured in trillions of refinancing, trillions of deficits, and nearly $1 trillion in annual interest cost is not theoretical. It flows through mortgage rates, bank balance sheets, pension allocations, Social Security projections, and the real value of every dollar held. Confidence does not disappear in a headline. It erodes in auctions, in rating actions by Moody's and Fitch, in central bank diversification, in gold accumulation, in guidance from Beijing to reduce exposure. The question is not whether the United States pays. It is how expensive payment becomes when the largest creditor trims participation while the issuance machine accelerates. One auction at a time, one rollover at a time, one basis point at a time.